How's it going, everybody? This is a little preview to the video you're about to watch. Every time I have a conversation with one of my friends about crypto and economics and things like that, when it's all over, I always say the same thing. Man, I should have recorded that because that was a really good, informative conversation. So this time I thought ahead and I said, okay, my buddy's coming over. Let's go ahead and record this. So basically what we did was we basically invited you to sit in on our conversation. And I wanted to let you know that in the video, it's a conversation among friends. You jump across different subjects and different times throughout history and things like that. And I misspoke a few things in the video, and I just wanted to clear that up before we get into the video. One of the things I referenced in the video was the 1929 Depression. What I meant to say was the 1920 Depression, not the Great Depression. So when you come to that, just understand I meant the 1920, not the 1929 Depression. Also, I mentioned Smart City going to be built in Nevada, and I said it was going to be built by Bitcoins LLC. That was wrong. I meant to say Blockchains LLC. You can look that up online. They have a web page. You can watch a short video on what's going on there, and there's some information there too, but that's really exciting. Also, I mentioned the time in history when the world's biggest banks all got together and agreed to have a American dollar standard. And in the video I said it was after World War I, but I misspoke that. I was referring to the Bretton Woods Agreement after World War II started to unwind in 1944. So there's that. Also, I previously told you I want to try and direct you towards other people to watch, because I mean, these guys know, their minds are amazing. They know way more than I do, and you should go check them out. Now, I watched a video today. It was a collaboration video between Crypto Crow and Mark Moss, and it was amazing. You have to watch it. I'm going to put a thing that pops up on the screen at the end of the video. Click on that and it'll take you to the video. That is a must watch. Also, if you want to see Mark Moss, his channel is called Market Disruptors. Go there. He has so many videos of great information. I recommend watching those. Also, on my channel, go to my playlist. If you're waiting for me to come out with another video and you want some more information and you just trying to learn as fast as you can and I'm not putting it out fast enough for you, my playlist, go to the one titled Meetups. In there you'll find several videos. Most of it's Andreas Antonopoulos. It might even all be him. Just amazing information in those. Definitely watch those. They span over several years, but it's him doing speeches in front of large groups of people, and they're really great. I learned a lot from him. For technical analysis, if you want to see how these guys read charts and try and predict what the market's going to do, whether it's going to go up or down, or in the near future, in the long term, stuff like that, I recommend I Love Crypto and Tonebase, and I will put links for all this stuff in the description underneath this video, so you can go there, click on it, and it'll take you to their channels and stuff. Now, for the daily news, I suggest Crypto Zombies. I watch him every single day. He's great. He's always on top of what's happening daily, and he gathers up the most relevant information, and he tells it to you, and he shows it to you, he reads it to you, he explains it so you understand. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. And thank you so much for stopping by again. I really do appreciate all the likes and the subscriptions, and you guys are great. But watch the video to the end. Seriously, click on the links. There's so much good information. And of course, it helps my channel grow. So thank you again. Enjoy the video. Welcome everybody. I'm Crypto Boots. You're watching Eye of the Hodler. Today I got my lifelong friend Eric here with me today. He's been listening to me chirp at him since I got in early March. And he's dipped his toe in the water a little bit. And he's here today. It's Sunday. We're going to watch a Steeler game in a little while. And I just wanted to give you an update and let you know what's going on since I haven't been on in a couple weeks. Well, I've been working on this video. And, well, let me go back. Before I went to Vegas, I put together about an hour and a half of footage. And then I went to Vegas. And I started editing it when I got back. And about 2 hours into my editing, I realized this isn't good enough. I want to put out quality information. And I'm making these videos for my family and friends, the people I love. I'm not getting paid for any of this. I ask you to subscribe and like, and it helps the channel and everything, but I'm not monetized. Anybody who's been in this for a while on YouTube knows that I'm too new to even think about being monetized, and that's not why I'm doing it anyways. I legitimately want to help the people I love know what's coming, because it's happening whether we want it to or not. And you may think, well, I'm not a gambler. I'm not trying to get into the crypto space and this thing. It's speculative and this and that. But here's the thing. You're involved in crypto whether you think you are or not, because you are stacking dollars for your future. And you're putting them away and hoping that someday you can retire on those dollars. But with things changing, technology changing, money is changing just the way it did from gold to paper to plastic to where we are now. This new technology is worldwide. It's 10 years old. And when I say you're involved, what I'm saying is you're making a bet. You're either betting on dollars being your future, or you're betting on Bitcoin being your future. One of those is going to be worth more than the other. One is going to devalue, which the dollar has been doing, since forever. 1971 when Nixon took it off the gold standard, right, until, we have Bitcoin. It was invented 10 years ago, and it went from zero value to the value it is right now, which is right around 3,800. We're in a down market. Everything's just come down. Last night, it took a hard dip. I picked some up. I had to get in there because, the way I look at it is when, first of all, nobody catches the bottom. Even the professionals will tell you, nobody catches the bottom. You either catch it on the way down or you catch it after it bounces and you're catching it on the way up.
Unless you're a really lucky
you're like the lucky one,
yeah.
if you get it. But that's, you're talking worldwide here. There's a lot of people involved. And you're just not going to catch the bottom. So the way I look at it is, it could go down to, what is it? Last night I got it at 3,700. Yeah. It could go down to 32. It could go down to freaking 1,000. But I'll tell you what, in about a year from now, when it's 60,000, I ain't going to be mad that I missed that little bit at the bottom.
Right.
I ain't going to be crying over that. But if I didn't get it, and that thing, if I said, well, I'll get it next week, and that thing spikes, and then all of a sudden that thing spikes up and goes crazy, I'm going to be mad buying it at 8,000, 10,000.
Right.
So, what? I bought it back in March. It was a lot higher than it is now. So for me to get in now, to buy a portion of it now is just dollar cost averaging in. It's lowering the average price of all my holdings. So when it starts to go back up, I'll make profits quicker than had I not bought right now. It's going to average me in. So it was a good buy for me no matter what way I look at it. I wish I had more to put in it. But if it goes down, hopefully I'll have money to buy some more.
Right.
I mean, even altcoins, Cardano's down to like 3.2 cents.
Yeah.
I started buying in at 33 cents. And I've been averaging in all the way down. I think I've got as much altcoins as I want to have.
What is the altcoin?
An altcoin is any coin that is not Bitcoin.
Right.
It's an alternative coin.
Right.
So that's another thing, guys. The reason Eric's here is because, like I said, this channel is for newcomers. Eric, even though he's been listening to me for 10 months, he's still a newcomer. He's got a lot of questions, and I believe that he's going to ask the questions that all of you also are wondering about, and I can answer them here for you. So a little bit of back and forth and get some questions answered for you. We're having a couple beers out in the garage here so I can have a cigarette. I never smoke in the house. So anyways, this is Eric, lifelong friend. Dipped his toe in a little bit, and he's just basically waiting on some capital. Hey, you tell me what's going on, man.
I started a new job. I basically, like everyone else, I'm in the 401 or any kind of savings that everybody generally gets into, and I have 3 kids, a wife. I want to make some solid investments, and like he said, I've been hearing him chirp about this for pretty much a year now, and what he says makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've seen the dollar devaluing over my whole life pretty much. You go to different countries, you don't get the same exchange anymore. You're wondering, like, is it really a safe bet to put your money in a 401? Is the government going to start dipping into that pretty soon because they already screwed up Social Security and pretty much anything anybody's ever done? So yeah, I mean, is it a risk? I mean, for a guy like me, not knowing as much as like, Crypto Boots here and, all the crypto guys that really, dug into this thing and digested it, and they know what they're doing and they know what to invest in, and they basically know what's a good bet and what's not.
We try.
Right.
Nobody knows anything.
Well, yeah,
but we read the charts, we collaborate, and it's all consensus. I mean, anything only has the value that we all agree that it has. So, right. I mean, you get enough of our heads together and agreeing on something, the law of averages says we're going to be close. Right. We're going to be close to the right answer.
Well, Bitcoin, I kind of, long time ago, I read a little bit about it in magazines, and it's this up and coming thing, and nobody really knows what it is, but it wasn't worth anything. And just a couple months ago, it's like $8,000, then it goes to $6,000, and it's like this thing over 10 years went from something that was like considered a joke to it actually is something. I mean, people were like really buying in, and from what I understand, like it's going into this backed market where the NASDAQ is going to accept it as a legitimate thing, and like I don't want to get left behind. Like he's saying, you only have so much money. What are you going to do with it? And me coming into a new job, I'm actually going to have some capital put into this thing, and I have a lot of questions. Like he's saying, like what makes Bitcoin a good choice? Like, and to understand that, you got to realize that, it's going to fluctuate and the market's going crazy. And,
if I can jump in there.
Yeah.
You're talking about the market fluctuation, and you have to understand how small the cryptocurrency space is. You see, because, right now, the whole entire cryptocurrency space is $130 billion. Now, to me and you, that sounds like a lot of money.
Right.
But you got to understand, like in the stock market and all these other markets, there's trillions of dollars. Right. There's like 7 trillion in 401ks.
Yeah.
And see, these guys that are brokers, mm-hmm. they have a fiduciary responsibility because they're managing other people's money. They need the okay from the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, They need that okay before they can take your money and invest it for you.
Right.
Okay, so right now they're in all the things that are pre-approved already. Now the SEC has been dragging its feet. It just recently moved its answer. It has a deadline, but it's allowed to push its answer ahead.
Right.
And right now, let's see. We're expecting the last deadline is in February, middle of February. So they either have to say yes or no. Before that, we have backed. You said the NASDAQ, it's actually the New York Stock Exchange. The owner of the New York Stock Exchange has this. It's going to be a crypto exchange, basically, where you can buy like Bitcoin futures. And one share of these futures is 25 Bitcoin.
So that's a lot of cream.
Yeah, it's not like me and you buying this stuff, because me and you, we can go on anywhere we want to and buy any amount we want to,
right.
$10 at a time.
Right.
But these investors, they handle big money.
The wolves.
Yeah,
Wall Street.
Yeah. That's a real dude.
Yeah, right.
And see, they need permission to put your money into it. And when they buy 25 Bitcoin at a time,
gulping that shit up.
the reason it's called backed is because every contract that you buy through them is actually going to be backed by real Bitcoin. Every other market right now, like you can get on different markets in the world and actually trade not Bitcoin, but you can trade, it's like betting on Bitcoin. And it's just paper contracts. They're not actually buying any Bitcoin. So it doesn't affect our market.
Right.
Now, whenever institutions get in and brokers get in, they start buying crypto through backed. Backed has to go on the market and actually buy the Bitcoin to back up all the contracts,
right.
which is going to drive the price up.
Right.
Now, don't quote my numbers because I didn't do the math, but there's like, from what I understand, about $7 trillion in 401ks alone.
Right.
Now, if those guys, let's say those guys put 2% of, they're going to diversify. They always diversify your stuff in
right.
a little bit of high risk, low risk, blue chip, bonds, this and that, and, to keep you safe over the term. But if only 2%, if they say I'm going to put 2% of my people's money into this, 2% of $7 trillion compared to the $130 billion that we have in right now, Bitcoin could be $500,000 a coin
right.
when they get in. And then, believe me, as soon as one gets in, the rest of them big boys that all compete against each other ain't going to let somebody
right.
just take over the market. They're all going to be jumping in.
Well, this guy got, $2 billion. I'm going in for $3 billion. He ain't going to outdo me.
Nobody wants to be the first guy in.
Right.
But as soon as somebody else jumps in the pool, everybody says,
that's when the ego trip starts.
all right, yeah, I'll get in on that. And this thing could just take off ridiculous. And for those, if you look at the Bitcoin chart from, let's say last January till now, or not last January, but this past January, even December 2017, you see where it was at, say $2,000, and it spiked all the way to $20,000. That happened in like 4 weeks.
Right.
Okay. And what that is every time there's a new technology, our enthusiasm goes beyond the actual value of that technology.
Right.
Everybody gets excited about it. Now you have the technology, the people, the developers, everything that's happening in the space is going like this. But you got us speculating on it, and everybody wants to get on the new thing, and it goes like this.
Right.
And what we did was we drove the market up so high, it had to have a correction, just like anything else. When Amazon went to, what was it? It went to like $80 or something like that. It corrected back down to like $5.
Right.
That was a bigger correction. That was a bigger correction, a bigger downtrend than Bitcoin has seen from 20,000 down to 4,000.
So, I mean, this isn't out of the ordinary, especially for Bitcoin. It's done this 4 times before.
Right.
And every single time it corrects, when it comes down, it doesn't go as low as the last time it was down.
It keeps adding to
and
itself.
every time it goes up, it destroys the last high.
Right.
So if you zoom out, see what you're seeing right now from December till now is from here all the way up to here and then all the way back down to here. But if we zoom that picture out, you know, I don't have screen share and stuff like that, but I could show you. If you zoom that chart out, you'll see that where it started and went up like this, that is a small picture because it came from way down here.
Right.
And if you just take out those giant exuberant rushes and just draw a straight line, it goes like this.
Right.
There ain't no down when you look at the big picture.
Right.
I mean, we're up, if you would have bought in a year and a half ago, even 2 years ago, so let's say 2 years ago, you're up 1,000% right now on your money.
Right.
What does that? Like, nothing does that. And when bubbles pop, when they come back down, that's it. They're done. They're popped.
Right.
They don't level out and then go higher than they were before.
Right.
You know, so saying Bitcoin is a bubble, yeah, we go through stages of market bubbles just like anything else does. But it ain't dead. This right now is an opportunity. An opportunity that everybody in the last year and a half wishes they were in.
Right.
Because they bought it higher than this. And tell me, in January, when Bitcoin was $20,000, who would have said no if I walked up and said, I'll sell you a Bitcoin for $4,000?
Nobody in the right mind.
Were you crazy?
Yeah, right.
I'll take as much Bitcoin as you got.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. It's all psychology. When you look at the chart, what you're looking at is psychology of the world. People's feelings.
Right.
So, like we said, it's only worth what we agree it's worth. But here's the thing. They call us the dumb money because once it goes really, really down or it goes really, really high, CNBC gets on TV and starts talking about it.
Yeah, starts pointing fingers.
Right.
And...
Well, it's been proven that if you take the CNBC news broadcasts and lay them on the chart of Bitcoin, every single time they tell you to buy, the price goes down. Every single time they tell you Bitcoin is dead, the price shoots to the sky.
Right.
People have made a lot of money betting on exactly the opposite of what CNBC says.
Right.
Because they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
They're
Who
just
does?
no.
Really?
Well, dumb money works on emotions. When they see the price going down, it's time to get out. We got to get out before we lose all our money. When the price is going up, we got to get on this thing so we can be rich.
Right.
But what happens is they always end up selling at the lows and buying when it's expensive. So they have this ongoing, repeating cycle of losing money.
Right.
And it's and you know, this earlier this year could have like scared a lot of people out of the market. It really did an injustice to Bitcoin for it to become so successful so fast.
Right.
This bear market we have now, it could take off any day. It could go to the moon tomorrow. But everyone I'm listening to, the guys, I mean, some guys have been in stocks in that market for years before Bitcoin was invented, and now they transferred over. So they are professionals at reading charts.
Right.
And some of them are saying, you know, this could go a little bit lower. This could go down to 3,000. This could go down to 2,000. This could go to one guy saying 1,300.
Which would be good for me.
It's possible. It's not probable.
Right.
But it's possible. Most of the consensus is saying about 3,000. It could get down to 3,000. It could take 6 to 8 months to do that. This market could drag out. See, the thing about markets is it keeps going down until there's no one left to sell. And it keeps going up until there's no one left to buy it. And what that means is we're all going to keep buying it and buying it and buying it and driving the price up until everyone says, that's too expensive for my blood. And the people that bought it a long time ago at the bottom are saying, that's a hell of a good profit. I think I'll sell.
Right.
And that turns the market headed back down. And it will go down until no one's willing to sell it for that much of a loss.
Right.
You got the people that got out, and you got the people like me who's going, I'm down 70%, but this is the wrong time to sell. I am not selling my Bitcoin
Right.
for a 70% loss. I don't care if I have to sit
until it comes back. I don't care if it's 30 years from now. Right.
I'm all in, and I'm riding it out until I ride or die, baby. I'm until the end. There's no way. I mean, dumb money sells for a loss. While you know what, every single person that sells, there's a buyer waiting to buy it.
Right.
The dumb money's selling, and the smart money's buying it, and they're stacking it up.
Right.
And the people like, Warren Buffett went on national TV and said, quote, Bitcoin is rat poison squared.
Why is he buying it all up?
Why is he buying it all up then?
Yeah, right.
Right? And we've got, out in Nevada, they just bought 67,000 acres. Bitcoin's LLC just bought 67,000 acres in Nevada where they are building a cryptocurrency smart city. You know how you could build a smart home?
Yeah.
Lights come on when you walk in the room and shit like that. Like, everything's smart. Your fridge knows when you took out the milk and you don't have no milk.
Yeah.
A whole smart city built on crypto. And the people who are the people who invested in building that are the guys you see on TV talking shit on crypto.
And the Buffetts.
Right.
Right.
They're talking shit on crypto because they want to drive the price down and buy up everything they can.
Scare everybody away from it.
Yep.
Suck it all
They
up.
did it in Amazon. They did it in all the FANG stocks. They did it. They do it over and over and over. And people are just they're not getting it. Like, why do you let these people work your emotions and make you sell just so they can buy it?
Right.
It's crazy. So basically what I've been working on is I was trying to figure out the best way to help people, new people. And
meet people.
what I've found is, you remember that course in high school where they taught you all about economics and how money works?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
I don't even remember.
It's because we didn't have it. There was no class.
And we had social sciences, but nothing like really.
Nothing
in-depth.
really taught you about
we
money.
might spend a week on it.
Yeah, like the most important thing for the rest of your life that you need to have and need to know how it works is money.
Yeah.
And they didn't teach us it. You can take it in college if you ask for it.
Right.
You go into economics.
Right.
They'll teach you economics. But
Right.
guess what? The government has taken schools, colleges, and said, look, now this happened, when did it happen? When John Maynard Keynes got to the government in Britain, and he told them, look, everything's going to shit. I have a plan, and listen to this plan. And he told them their plan, and basically I don't want to get into the depths of it because that's going to be in my video, but he said the gold standard is garbage, even though we had 40 years of, 2,500 years of the shit working right on the gold standard. But right now, it ain't working. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell everybody that spending elevates the economy. If everybody spends more money, then that promotes more people that need to have jobs to produce what the people are buying. And the government loved this. If we base our economy on everybody spend your money and not hold your money and save your money, then we could just keep printing more money and flooding the market with it, and people would just keep spending it.
But what happens when it rebounds and it comes back to you and it ain't worth a goddamn dime?
Right. And they actually said, with this system, not one man in a million will realize we're stealing their money. Quote. Well, close to a quote. Okay, it was real close to that. Not one man in a million will realize what's going on.
Right.
1937, John Maynard Keynes' book was translated and published in Germany. And he said, this system of economics would be most easily adopted by a totalitarian government. And that's the economics we're being taught in schools. Keynesian economics. To don't save your money, go into debt as much as you can, buy as much as you can. Now, don't worry about tomorrow. That's what they're teaching. So, what I want to do is I want to tell people I'm spending so many hours. I'll show you my notebook, taking notes. I'm hours and hours and days in the past 2 weeks, all day long. I am taking all this in, and I want to put it all together in a way that people can understand. And I want to teach you the history of money, how it happened, not what it is after Keynes came along. I want to teach you the 2,500 years of how economics worked before that.
Before they said just...
Before they scrubbed it from the history books.
Yeah.
So before you understand why Bitcoin is so good, because people say, what's a Bitcoin? What's cryptocurrency?
Right.
That's the wrong question. The right question is, why is Bitcoin?
Right.
Why does it exist?
Why is it even here at this point after we have this great money?
And when was it invented? After the 2008 collapse.
Right.
Because Satoshi Nakamoto said, this doesn't work.
Right.
There's a better way. And this is how we can do it. And he solved the thousands of year old problem that's never been solved before. The Byzantine generals problem. He finally solved it. And it changed the world. And it's been spreading around the world and changing the world behind the curtain. And nobody even knows it because we're so into our daily grind.
Right.
We don't know what's going on. People don't even know about Venezuela's 1,000,000% inflation this year. People were driving wheelbarrows full of trillions of dollars to go buy coffee at the store.
Right. Like, leave my wheelbarrow alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of inflation.
Wow.
Inflation is what's happening here. Inflation is what's happening all over the world. Governments have been given the right to print as much money as they want, as fast as they want.
Which makes the money worth
And
nothing.
the reason our money's not going down as fast as it should is because everybody else is printing theirs faster. That's all. If everybody in the world stopped printing their money tomorrow, the American dollar would go to shit.
Right.
Because all we're doing is not losing as fast.
Right.
Yeah. So I need to explain why Bitcoin exists and why the dollars are so bad and why the government control of our money has changed history. Dollars aren't that old.
No. No, they're not.
I mean, it really, when you look at the scope of history, dollars are not that old.
Right.
The gold was used forever. Now, you know, they even started screwing it up in Rome with the coin clipping.
Yeah.
Every time
punching a little piece off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take a piece off and then they keep the clippings, dump them into the thing and melt them down, make more coins.
Right.
And then after that, they started adding copper and iron to the mix and making even less quality gold coins.
Right.
And then, you know.
Before you know it, you had this brass alloy coin that wasn't worth a damn thing, but people were still using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, what they do is, as time goes, emperors change. Well, the next emperor wants to fix the problem, and he says, okay, well, you know, you just ruined that coin, and nobody wants it.
Right.
So we're going to make a new coin. And he makes a new coin, and he says, this coin is going to have this much gold in it. It's going to be worth this much. Because any coin is valued by how much gold it weighs. Every currency in the world back then was valued against how much gold it contained, or silver.
Right.
Because even though, you know, gold was the best thing to have, it was hard to make small purchases because of its high value.
Right.
So that's where silver came in. Silver being more plentiful, easier to mine, and less valuable per ounce.
Right.
When they made coins out of silver, we could make smaller purchases. So you could make smaller purchases than you could with your gold coin without
So you're going from the $1,000 bill to the $100 bill.
Right, or the dollar to the penny, you know,
Right,
whatever way you want to put it. But it was more scalable. It could be devised smaller.
Right.
But as soon as paper money came in, because we went from gold and silver to paper.
Right.
And the only reason paper came in, and it was actually a great idea. Let's put all our gold in the bank, because, you know, I got to carry all this gold with me. I can get robbed. You know,
Right.
It was hard to secure, hard to spend. You couldn't break it down. You know, or it was a pain in the ass to break down. But so everyone said, okay, let's put our money in a centralized location. They promised they're going to keep it safe,
Right.
and they're going to give us a receipt.
Right. Here's my promissory note that
Yeah.
says I got this much gold.
And I could take that receipt anywhere that original coin or gold is accepted, and it was as good as gold.
Right.
Because they promised that they have it. That system works great
Until you run out of gold to back it up.
until they start printing more receipts than gold.
Right.
As soon as you start printing more receipts and saying, yeah, we got the gold. Don't worry about that. We got the gold.
gold is good.
Yeah, these papers are just as good as gold. You don't worry about that. So yeah, as soon as you give a centralized entity the ability to print their own money, they're going to do it.
Right.
They can't avoid
Why
the
wouldn't you?
temptation.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Print more.
which is, you know, when you know, after World War I, when all the world's central banks gave America their gold, and we decided the world would go on the American dollar standard, that we would be the gold reserve for the world. Also, sure, that would work if you could trust the guys to stop printing the freaking the dollars faster than the gold.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it would have worked. But the U.S. said, hey, we're in a pretty good position here. Every bank in the world holds dollars in their vaults and says this is as good as gold.
Well, wasn't, not to interrupt you, but wasn't it like a couple years back, a couple countries got together and said, fuck your gold? Or, you know, like, screw your gold, we're just gonna...
The BRICS agreement.
Yes.
Britain, Russia, India, China, South Africa. BRICS. They have agreed amongst themselves that they don't want American dollars anymore.
Right.
And they don't need it. They will do commerce between each other and never have to deal with the American dollar.
Right.
The world doesn't want our dollars anymore because we've ruined them.
Right.
And when they asked for their gold back, because,
yeah.
like I said, you know, everyone gave us their gold, and we were supposed to hold it and give everybody dollars. Well, we printed so many dollars that over the years, the country started realizing, damn, there's a lot of dollars. I don't think they're worth what they used to be worth. How about you give us our gold back? Britain actually sent a military carrier to New York City, to New York, to reclaim their gold, repatriate their gold.
Right.
And then when Germany made the phone call and said they wanted theirs too, America said, all right, that's enough of that. Nixon, you got to put a stop to this. So Nixon gets up and says, we are temporarily suspending the tradability of dollars into gold. They had to do that because there wasn't enough money and there wasn't enough gold to give back. We had inflated the money supply so much, there was no way we could give them all back their gold.
Right.
So we had to stop it.
So we
And
got an empty warehouse
that day-
down in Fort Knox.
No, everyone still holds a little gold, but there's only like 2 cents on the dollar
Right.
of gold because we've just printed so much money, and every country has. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that is going to be in my next video, and I'm probably, you know, shouldn't be saying it now, but you'll hear it. You'll hear it again when I release the video. It's going to be really in depth. It's going to cover all the things, you know, that you need to know, because until you realize how bad this economy is, and they're lying to us, man. It's way worse than you think it is. Well, you know, because you hear me all the time.
Right.
But
a lot of people don't know.
Yeah,
And
people
that's the
don't know.
problem.
So anyways, wanted to let everybody know that I'm working hard on giving you a really good video. And I just don't want to let you down. So it's taking me a little longer. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna do my best to inform you. And the things I'm gonna tell you in the video are not my opinion. They are facts of history that have been scrubbed from the history books, unless you really dig deep to find them. You got to know the truth to know why this system is falling apart. I mean, a lot of economists are saying that the economic crash we're heading into is going to make 2008 look like a little blip on the screen.
Right.
It's nothing compared to what's coming.
All the money they sent out is coming back now.
Well, yeah, when Obama said, I need $1.6 trillion to bail out the banks that screwed up so bad they're not liquid anymore.
Right.
Now, if he would have let the banks just crash and let them go out of business and admit that they defaulted on all of our loans, we would have went into a depression.
Right.
They stopped the depression by doing that. But you'll see in history, if you look, nobody knows about the 1929 depression.
Right.
Because what happened was the government didn't step in. And it was hell. And they went through a whole year of shit, of businesses closing up, banks closing up. But every time there was somebody who wasn't financially responsible and they went bankrupt, there was somebody there to buy their business and start it back up.
Right.
And within 1 year, it was business as usual. The economy recovered on its own because the market was allowed to do what it does.
Right.
It equalizes. When governments get involved and they try to manage the money and manage wages, minimum wage and things like that, when they raise minimum wage, what happened? People got fired.
Right.
People got laid off because now companies can't afford to pay them. Because not only do they raise the wage, they put a freeze on how much they can charge for their product.
Right.
So now it doesn't even pay them to make more product to try to make more money because they can only sell at a certain price and they're not making any money on
Right.
it.
So now, sorry, John, but
yeah.
here's your slip.
So, we're all pretending our money's worth a certain amount and we want to keep it at that amount and inflate the money and still pretend it's worth the same amount. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
So anytime the government gets involved in price controls, wage controls, and market value and all that stuff, you either get a surplus or you don't have enough.
Right.
It never works out. If you just let the market do what it does, it equalizes. It comes right
They
back.
have no choice.
It comes right back
Right.
because it is the consensus of the people, and
Sink or swim.
that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin works on consensus. It's power back to the people. Take it away from the government. Stop using the government's money, who they print $85 billion a month. And every time they print a dollar, it makes your dollar worth less. So if you're stacking dollars for your retirement,
You're losing money.
you're losing money. Those dollars are just sitting there being less and less valuable over time. You need to find somewhere to put that where it's going to appreciate, not depreciate.
Right.
And that's what I want to tell everybody. So, my beer's empty, your beer's empty. We're going to get a few more. Watch the Steeler game. It was nice seeing you again. Remember, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, because if you hit the subscribe button and you don't hit the bell, you're not going to get a notification that I made. Another thing I noticed. Did that just stop? No. Another thing I noticed. I put out these videos. My first one was only like 6 minutes. The average view time was 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
So watch the video.
I put out 2 more videos, like 45 minutes long. It got my average view time up to like 5 minutes. People have attention spans of guppies.
Yeah.
The
goldfish that swims around the tank and stops, freezes.
Yeah, it's like Dory. You know?
Yeah.
So, please watch the videos to the end. And obviously, if you're seeing me say this right now, you did watch the video to the end because it's coming right now. But I really appreciate it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. thanks for hitting the like button, everybody that has already subscribed and hit the like button. I really appreciate you. I'm not getting anything from making these videos. I'm putting hours and hours into the research, hours into the filming, into the editing. I'm just doing it because you need to know. You need to know what's coming, and it's coming faster than you think. Don't keep putting it off. Get educated. Your biggest investment is in your education. Learn what the government doesn't want you to learn, so you can secure your children's future, your grandchildren's future. And leave a comment. Nobody's leaving any comments. Ask me a question. This is for new people. You're not asking a stupid question. The stupid questions are exactly what we need, because the people that have been doing this a long time, they forget how basic you need to be talking to a new person. When I started, it was hard finding the starter information.
Right.
Everybody's it's so well that you forget the basics. So ask me the questions. It's not stupid. It's the perfect, good question I'm looking for. And I will try to answer them on my videos. If I don't know the answer, I am going to do the research and get you those answers. And let's be more prosperous than we have been throughout our life. I mean, we're 40 years old, and if we keep doing what we're doing, there's going to be no future for our kids.
Before you know it, we're 70 years old. Same thing.
Wishing we bought Bitcoin.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Nice meeting Eric here. Hopefully you'll see him later on, and we'll see how far he's come.
Hopefully it'll be a success story. And honestly, this guy does care, so please ask questions, like, subscribe, push the little bell thingy. I don't even know what the hell that means, but it does let you know when he's coming back on, and he'll do his best for you. He's like a fucking pit bull. You're gonna have to scratch that one. But yeah, he's a pit bull. He'll go after what you want to know, and if you don't have a good answer, he's gonna dig into it for hours to figure it out. So don't be afraid to ask, and he'll do his best for you. I promise you that. I've known him a long time, and he's educating me. I'm pretty stubborn. I'm pretty, stuck in a rut. So if I'm here wanting to know, there's a change coming, honestly, and he's on top of it, and hopefully I will be soon, and maybe I'll be here someday making another video with him, and maybe I'll be answering a question. So God bless you, people.
God bless.
Go Steelers.